Hello everyone, welcome back to another installment of What's Happening Today at the Collection. So today's video features my M1026 gun truck. And this gun truck has been in the collection a long time. It was actually the second vehicle in the collection. The very first one was Big Army, which is my 5-ton. Here's a little tour of the inside of it, and later on, probably in a month or so, I'm going to be doing a long, in-depth video on this vehicle. It's very special to me. And the reason for that is when I got this vehicle, now, although I am prior service, I never saw combat, but about the time I joined the Army is when the Battle of Mogadishu kicked off, Black Hawk Down. I had a lot of good friends that were in that battle, and one of the people I've got to know is Jeff Strucker, and he drove the lead Humvee in the rescue convoy. And I reached out to Jeff and I said, hey, I want to set mine up just like yours as kind of a rolling memorial, and I'll show you guys the tag here in just a minute. But I want to do a rolling memorial to the guys that were killed in the battle. So he sent me a whole bunch of pictures of his, how it looked that day. And the radio setup is a double stack Singars. Got that squared away. And this is exactly how he hung his mics for the radio. 550 cord right there. So that's accurate. And of course right now there's nothing in it. The 50 straps down right there, extra fuel, extra water. The case for the night vision, all that good stuff. But just a standard military issue M1026. There's the turret. The gunner would stand here. I've got the seat top sitting there, charging the batteries. And just like all the military vehicles, it is 24 volt. In the military, they have the slave cables where you can plug it in right here, and you plug it in, you can jump it off, charge it, whatever. Those cables are ridiculously expensive. They're like $300 or $400. It's free to take the top of the seat cover off and hook up my charger. So that's what I use. But for those of you who have never been around a Humvee, this is kind of a tour of the battery compartment. And interestingly, just like the 151, the passenger sits on the batteries. Now, in the Humvee, the driver over here just sits on nothing. There's nothing under that seat except a medic kit. But here is the, like I said, a quick view of the inside here. So the old gun truck has some issues, and we'll kind of make our way to the outside. But before I do that, I want to show you guys the tag. I mentioned to you that it's a rolling memorial to the men and women. There's one of the issues. I've had a tire come off the rim. Got some guys coming out to put that back on because it takes a very special technique. I got her jacked up on a jack. So when I got the truck and got with the people that were in the battle, like I said, I wanted to do a rolling memorial, and there's the tag. The tag office worked with me on that. They approved it October the 3rd, 93, which is the day of the battle. That's just really cool. So we're going to make our way around to, there's two problems that this Humvee's got. You saw the tire a while ago. The other issue, not going to be too bad, but it's not going to be too fun either. It's the last time I had it out, it chunked both alternator belts. Now, like most military vehicles, it has multiple belts. You can see where they would go, but they're missing. And they wrapped around, when they let go, they wrapped around this thing, and I had to cut them loose. So it was just a mess. And as you can see, just like the 151, she's coming out of winter hibernation. Got to get all the leaves off and all that. So the issue with the gun truck now is I'm going to put all new belts on it. When you replace any belts, just go ahead and change all of them. However, if you notice, let me go over to the other side. You guys can see it better. So to put those belts on, that particular set of belts, you see where they come around the fan pulley here, and they go on the bottom of the motor. All right, so to go around the fan pulley, can you see it in there? I may have to go back around to the other side. You see that little hub on the front of the fan? Well, that's your temperature clutch, okay? I have to zip back around here so you can see it better. The fan, like the fan in all vehicles, is temperature controlled. And of course, the military has an overly complicated system of the way they do things. But anyway, if you look right through there, you can see the piping right there, and it comes out right here, that goes to the hub. You have to pull that loose and then loop the belts over the fan, then bring them back over here and put them back on all the pulleys. Of course, loosen the alternator so you can put the belts on it, and then tension it back up. And these things have to be tight. There's how bad it tightened up. It actually dented one of the pulleys. That's, wow. Thankfully, that's runnable. But anyway, and the interesting thing about this, and for those of you who know diesels and know military vehicles, you know this, but for those of you who don't, obviously when the generator turns, it generates power. Well, a diesel only needs power when you're firing off the glow plugs. Once they're hot, it continues to run. So the way I limped this thing home is tore all the belts off of this, and thankfully it had enough power left in the batteries to fire it back off, and I drove it home without the generator. Now if you're running lights and blinkers and all that, you're burning, you know, battery power, but this happened during the daytime, so I don't really need the generator. And I got her home, but now, you know, it's you got to get it fixed. You can't continue driving it like that. But this is the view of a Humvee engine for those that have never seen one. It's just, people think Humvees are these amazing off-road vehicles. No, they were made by the lowest bidder. They ride terrible. They ride just very, very rough, and I'll show you why. I'm actually standing here at one of the suspension arms now. So they have these short little A-arms. Now remember, these things are designed to put a tremendous amount of weight in, okay? They've got those short little A-arms. Look at the size of these springs. They're massive. I mean, that is just a humongous spring. And you can see the shafts there going to the gear reduction gearbox there in the front hubs. This suspension system has about 2 inches of travel. That's it. I don't think you can see the stopper up in there, but they have about 2 inches of travel, and it rides terrible. You literally can feel the little orange lights in the highway. You can feel that when you're riding in one of these. You can feel it. They're not good for off-road. They're incredibly wide. I mean, you knock the mirrors off all the time if you're going down trails and things. They're overly complicated. They're maintenance hogs. They're just, oh God, they're terrible. I'll come around on this side and show you guys the air intake system. There's a louver on the front, which is a joke because that one's not full of leaves. Typically it gets full of leaves. I'm surprised. Okay. Okay. So here's the intake. Now, you know, they can have the snorkel kit just like the 151. Take it up. You got to get rid of all those, and then it goes into this monstrous air filter. And to get the air filter, of course, that's the strap that secures it. You undo this, the cap comes off, and you just check it. It pops out. It's this big old huge air filter, and you can see how soldier-proof that is. Everything's soldier-proof. Suspension on this side, it's just incredible. And these things, back when they were built, you know, you had to lube everything. There's some of the lube fittings there. They're all over the place. To service one of these properly, it takes a couple hours. But here's the view of this side of the engine. Now this is the J-Code 6.2 diesel. They were used in the Humvees. They were used in the Cut Bs. Standard military issue of the day. They are anemic. They're just ridiculous. When these trucks are fully loaded with fuel and people and supplies and all that, they can barely get out of their own way. I mean, 0 to 60 acceleration is just wait a while. But as with all things military, it was made by the lowest bidder. It was cheap, and that's what they used. Later on, they came out with the 4-speed and the turbos and all that. This is an 86 model, so it's the original 6.2 3-speed J-Code diesel. We'll walk around to the driver's door here, kind of give you guys a view in there. Be firing it up later. Like I said, I'm charging the batteries currently, but I'll give you a view of here's the driver's door. Just all the controls, basic military stuff. And to start, it's just like with any military vehicle. You flip that on, the wait light comes on. When the wait light goes off, you flip it over to run, and she fires off. Standard gauges, of course. And then here's a view of the e-brake, which is a joke. I don't know if you noticed in the video, but it's parked on a little bit of a hill here. I've got two, not one, but two wooden blocks in front of it, because these things, oh my God, they're a joke. If you're on level ground, yeah. If you're on a hill, no. There's the shifter. You just put it in D, and you let her go. And here's the view on this side of the interior. Of course, you see all the stuff back there, and there's some of the ammo cans and the box for the night vision and all that. So just kind of a quick tour of the gun truck. And unlike the 151, like I said, the only thing under here is the medic kit. You're not sitting on gallons of explosive fuel. These are diesel, and the tank is in the rear. So, and to drop the windows, see that little pin? You pull that and you drop the windows. Yeah, it's kind of goofy, but that's the maintenance issues currently with this one. So we'll be getting this squared away coming up for the springtime, getting her out on the road again, replace all the belts, full fluid flush, check out everything, get her all lubed up good. I have a mechanic that comes here. I don't have to take him anywhere. He comes here. He's a certified master mechanic, and they bring everything. They just show up and they do it all here. And we'll be videoing that when they come out. It'll be a long video. I'm going to do a unedited, uncut video so you guys can see it from start to finish. It'll be this, and it'll be replacing all the belts, undoing all of that, and changing all the oil and fluids and all that. There's the oil dipstick here, and then on the other side, sticking out right above where it says no step, you see the little curlicue. That is the transmission. And then of course the brakes are here. Windshield wiper fluid, which is there's the get all the junk off of it. So there's where it squirts up the windshield wiper fluid on your windshield, and the typical just junk military windshield wipers. And this one does have the 50 mount. This one is set up to mount to 50. Put the full auto 50 up there and just have a big time. The last time I did a machine gun shoot, I had people waiting in line an hour to climb up there and shoot my full auto 50 cal. And they literally wait an hour, because where else are you going to get to do it? Yeah. But there's the current status of the gun truck. Like I said, this is a new series I'm going to be doing, just kind of day-to-day activity here at the collection, to give you guys a behind the scenes of what it takes to maintain all these vehicles, keep them operational, the common issues they have. This one, they just collect leaves. They're like just leaf magnets, so all that'll have to be completely sucked out. And you know what, since I finished washing it off and cleaning it up, I'll walk over here, because currently, if you watched the other video, you saw when I first started working on the 151. Well, got her all cleaned up, got the batteries charged. It looks a little different than it did in the first video. You can see some of the water's drying now. You notice how the seats jack up, and that gives you access to where you can, holds them out of the way. You can clean under them. Sometimes I use a pressure washer at a distance. This time I just used a good hose pipe. Got all the leaves out, got her squared away. Got a few left that it blew out. I'm gonna get those out by hand. You can see them in there. But yeah, be taking her for a test drive here shortly. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, this is a new series I'm going to be doing, hopefully every day, every other day, just to kind of give you a behind-the-scenes tour here at the collection. If you did enjoy the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.